All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Upstate Medical University Arena here this afternoon for what is a pretty significant day for the Crunch organization, Onondaga County, the city of Syracuse, and the community at large, as today we announce a year-long mental wellness initiative and campaign. It's a year-long mental wellness campaign aimed at having a strong and positive impact here on the Syracuse community. So it's a pretty important day for everyone involved. And before we get going, I want to thank all of our partners involved, our premier partner, the Lobdell Family, our presenting partners of this initiative, AmeriCU Credit Union, ANOVA Marine Insurance, and BHG Financial, and resources for this program are provided by Upstate Medical University. We've got 7 speakers up here today as part of this presentation, so I'll just introduce them all now. Before we get started with each of them, we've got Howard Dolgan, Syracuse Crunch owner, Ryan McMahon, the county executive here in Onondaga County, Ulrika Erickson, Syracuse Crunch mindfulness coach. Then on this side here, we've got Noah Lobdell representing the Lobdell family. We've got Ronald Bell from AmeriCU Credit Union. He's the president and CEO. Jordan Barzy, BHG Financial Vice President of Client Services. And then Dr. Adrienne Borshuk from Upstate Medical University. She's a pediatric psychologist and assistant professor. So we thank our 7 speakers today. Just a note, we'll have interviews with everyone afterward individually if you'd like to grab them, so we'll save questions for that part at the end. Also want to recognize a distinguished guest here today in attendance. We've got Tina Zagieva, sorry. I have it written down, Zagieva, apologies. She's Assembly Member Pamela J. Hunter's Director of Constituent and Support Services. So we appreciate her being here in support of all of this as well. And then our other 2 distinguished guests from the Syracuse Crunch, we've got head coach Joel Bouchard and Crunch Forward alternate captain and reigning team member of the year in the community, Daniel Walcott. So those are our folks here today. With that, we'll get started with all of our speakers to get this initiative started. We'll start with Syracuse Crunch owner Howard Dolgan.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you all who are in attendance today. I'll keep my remarks brief. This is a exciting but more of an important program initiative for us to be involved in. We think of athletics and we think of the physical aspects of it, and too often than not, we neglect the mental wellness aspects of it. This program, we believe, is a priority. In fact, as an organization, about 4 or 5 months ago, we brought in the first team of the American Hockey League to bring in a mindfulness coach for our staff and other members of our organization. We believe this is an issue that's not just season-long, but hopefully a program that will continue year after year after year, because it's an issue that's not seasonal or monthly or weekly. It's an issue we all have to deal with every day, on and on and on. And we are committed as an organization, and I believe as a community with our great partners, who we appreciate so much for your involvement, both from the public and private sector. So with that, I thank you for coming. Thank you for all of your support. It means so much to us and the people who live in this community. Thank you.
Speaking next here as part of our presentation today is Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everybody, and especially everyone sitting here for your leadership on an important issue. And Howard, I want to thank you for bringing an important voice into this. Mental health is something that has been stereotyped and stigmatized for decades. And the reality is the analogy with sports is important because it helps normalize the issue to parts of the population that often will brush these things aside. And if you think about sports often, and I know coaches here, and if you think about some of the great athletes over a period of time, often it wasn't anything physically that kept them from reaching their full potential. And even if you think through local athletics about certain individuals and you wonder what happened and why didn't they reach their peak potential, it had a lot more to do with their mental wellness. And that's a challenge today. We went through a 100-year pandemic where everything we know as people was disrupted. And it's harder now being a young person than it was 20 years ago with all the technology and the social media. And we have so many people struggling. And what's important for us as a community to really combat this is to really identify the issues and to identify the people who are struggling, and then to look at gaps in the systems and put resources behind those gaps. But this initiative helps us really with all of that. So I want to thank all of our partners. Howard, thank you for your leadership. Certainly Upstate, amazing partners. All of our private sector partners. The Lobdell family, Noah, you and your family with what you're doing, with sharing a very personal story, but doing something about that. That's leadership. And certainly you're a young man and you're setting a good example. So thank you all. Happy to play a role in this. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Syracuse Crunch mindfulness coach, Ulrika Erickson.
Thank you, Lucas. So I am Syracuse Crunch mindfulness and wellness coach, and I work with the front office and staff, and we mainly focus on stress management, communication, and self-awareness and mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is really awareness. It's being aware of your thoughts, aware of your emotions, your feelings, and your surroundings without judgment in the present moment. Because so often we live our life in either the past or the future, not really focusing on what's happening here and now. And it's also self-awareness and getting in touch with your authentic self and listening to your inner voice. Because a lot of times we just really don't. We listen to everybody around us and maybe what they're telling us that we are, which may not be the truth, but we align with it. So it's important to listen to ourselves and to make sure that we are our own best supporter, not our own worst enemy. So this is a big part of mindfulness. And the way we practice is breath work. And like a lot of times, we don't pay attention to our breath until we run out of breath or we don't feel well. And also meditation. Meditation is huge and can be very difficult for many, but it's practiced in so many ways, and it's really a great way to become self-aware. Journaling is another great thing because you get your thoughts out of your head and put it on paper. And visualizing, which is great, setting intent, and manifesting. So those are a few other ways. Also, of course, stress management and communication. Communication, again, is huge because communication is how we communicate with ourselves, but also with everyone in our surrounding environment. And the way I'm going to be helping in the program is I will be speaking to students at schools, also to youth hockey players and their coaches, and with the professionals in the community. Again, I'm very grateful and thankful for everyone here, our sponsors, and also Syracuse Crunch for giving me opportunity to be part of this very, very important program. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, as the county executive said, the Lobdell family is a huge part of this. They are our premier partner in this initiative, and on behalf of the Lobdell family, we bring up now Noah Lobdell.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Noah Lobdell, and it means a lot to be here today. On behalf of my father, Vinny Lobdell, and my entire family, confirming our dedication to mental health awareness, together with the Syracuse Crunch and all over Central New York. My uncle's story hits close to home. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia at 17, the very same age I am today, and tragically died by suicide at 19 in 1995. I only found out the real truth when I turned 15. His death was not a heart attack. He fought tough. He fought with mental illness. Losing Rusty wasn't just hard for our family. It was especially tough for my grandma, who found him. But even in her pain, she taught us being kind and understanding. Now, 25 years later, my family and I are focused on fighting the stigma around mental health. The stats like the CDC's Youth Risk Behavior Survey shows how many young people deal with depression and thoughts of suicide. We want to change that and help those who need support. Back in the 90s, there weren't enough places for people struggling with mental health. My family saw this firsthand when we visited Oswego Health. That's why we donated $1 million to build the Lobdell Center for Mental Health and Wellness. We want to make sure others do not face the challenges that Rusty did. Our family's journey turned our pain into a mission. It's something that drives me to speak up about mental health in my generation. Wearing Rusty's number 32 jersey today isn't just a symbol. It is a way to honor him and everyone else fighting similar battles. Let's stand together, break the silence, and end the stigma around mental health. Thank you for your support, and I'm excited to see how these efforts will make a difference in our community, honoring Rusty and many others. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Noah. Next up, speaking on behalf of presenting partner AmeriCU Credit Union, is the president and CEO Ronald Bell.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. It's great to be a part of this. Noah, thank you for sharing your story. It touches all of us, and really, it's really why we're here today. And to the Crunch organization and to Howard, this is groundbreaking. You know, a couple of months ago when we spoke, and Howard shared the idea of what this could mean to the community, AmeriCU Credit Union, we were all in. You know, what we talk about as an organization consistently is the culture of the organization and what we do for the community. Having this platform and Howard and the Crunch organization to use this platform in such a way brings this to the forefront. We were speaking a little bit earlier today, just before we got started, and just imagine if there is somebody out in the stands of a Crunch game who may be struggling, who may think differently when they find out that the Crunch and the Crunch players are behind this and the Crunch organization is behind this. It's a big opportunity for this city and for everybody that may be struggling with this awful disease. Let's bring it out of the shadows and into the forefront. So thank you. We're very proud to be a part of this. And Howard, thank you for all you're doing.
And thank you to AmeriCU Credit Union for their support in all of this as well. We move on to our next presenting partner, and that is BHG Financial, and representing them is Vice President Client Services, Jordan Barzee.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jordan Barzee with BHG Financial. It's a pleasure to be here. When the Crunch reached out asking if we'd be part of the mental wellness, it was an absolute no-brainer for us. Mental wellness and seeing others succeed is a core value of ours, and we're excited to partner with someone locally to see what an impact we can make, not just in our organizations, but within the community, and we couldn't be more pleased and excited to have this opportunity. So thank you to the Crunch.
And then our final speaker today, representing Upstate Medical University, who's providing the resources for this program, pediatric psychologist and assistant professor, Dr. Adrian Borshak.
It's often been said that there is no health without mental health. It's the platform that we stand on to meet our goals, for meaningful relationships, and contribute to our community. As a pediatric psychologist at Upstate and Golisano Children's Hospital, I work with kids and families every day to help them build this foundation and in some cases rebuild it. But I'm only one part of the solution. There's only one of me. There's only so many mental health providers out there. And so I feel really, really strongly that everyday people can make a difference and have a responsibility to make a difference. And the first step is just talking. Open discussion about mental health is essential to remove stigma and allow people to seek help without fear or shame. I'm so pleased to see that message echoed in so many of our speakers before me. And I'm so grateful to the Syracuse Crunch for starting this conversation and making mental wellness such a big priority. Thank you.
All right, well, those are our 7 speakers here today. We appreciate everyone for taking a moment here, and as you heard, clearly a very important initiative for everyone in this community, so we're looking forward to getting it started. With that, that's all we've got up here, so we'll start to break out for individual interviews then with each of our 7 guests up here, so if you want to grab them, I'm sure some have some helpers around, you can get interviews with them. Other than that, thank you so much for coming, and we're very much looking forward to kicking off this initiative here this year.